All right, welcome back, guys. Earn Your Leisure, Atlanta edition. This is a very special episode for us. We enjoying our time in Atlanta, and we got a legend, Atlanta legend, and a DC legend, for sure. So before we start, we gotta give a shout out to our partners at United Masters.
They're rocking right now.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Dave, John, and Ernest, and the commissioner, Steve Stout. For sure. Yeah.
Steve, I remember Steve Stout on the back of a American Airlines flight on the way to the Soul Train Awards, the one that Biggie died, the Vibe party.
97.
And I'll never forget, he was on the back of the plane and he had like 3 seats. This was not first class. And he had like notes everywhere. And he was just plotting. I'm like, what you about to do? He's like, I'm taking over the fucking world. That's what I'm doing. Shout out to Steve.
Yeah, shout out to them. So yeah, they're big fans of the podcast, and we met with them. And they wanted to form some kind of alliance with us, so we decided to do that. And so this is be the first episode, trial run. So we're gonna release a bonus content. Well, not even bonus content. It's their own content on their channel. That'll be some clips dedicated to the music industry. Yeah. So check out their YouTube, and then the full length version of the podcast will be on Earn Your Leisure. So yeah, shout out to the good folks.
And their Instagram Masters too. They're gonna have the content on their Instagram. And
for sure. We're gonna do cross promotion. Yeah,
I'll be sure to repost.
Yeah, appreciate that. Collaboration is better than competition for sure. And then the last thing before we get started is that we got our workshop series that we're launching. And that's going to be once a month in New York City. So we bring on guests from like all different areas, real estate and law and all stuff. And people get educated on the podcast, but they want even more education. So this is going to be an opportunity for people to actually meet these people in person and ask them questions, and kind of like a mini seminar in a sense. It's going to be in person in New York City, but it's also going to be live streamed. So anybody in the world, all over the world, you can check it out. So that's on the events tab also. All right. So now
congrats.
Thank you. So we have Kenny Burns. So first and foremost, thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Yeah. So curator of culture, is that a good title for you?
Hey,
I'll take it.
Yeah, I like it, man. When I think of your career, and it's an extensive one, I'm like lifestyle coach, not lifestyle coach, lifestyle specialist,
right?
But even more so, a curator of culture.
Yeah, I like to, the word curate is a very sensitive word. You know what I'm saying? I actually had a conversation with one of my mentees the other day. He was like, yo, I curated this event. I'm like, what event? He was like, Kanye West's Sunday service at New Birth. And I'm like, wait. You can't say you curated that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to say, like, you helped get some people there, or you brought a couple sweatshirts.
I did the lights.
Yeah, like, so but curate is accurate when it comes to me. I've been a part of a lot of pivotal points in hip hop history. And I kind of like just carve my own way out. So I'll take that curator title all day.
All right, cool. So we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna start with the music business, because you're a Renaissance man. You do a little bit of everything.
Yes.
But we're gonna talk about the music business first.
Okay.
So, all right, how did you get started in the music business? Because you're from DC originally.
Yep.
Then you come to Atlanta.
Yep, Freaknik 92. My cousin was like, yo, you gotta come to Freaknik. I'm like, what the fuck is a Freaknik?
Yeah, for those not to know.
Yeah, Freaknik was the biggest black college, historically black college, like spring break. It happened in Atlanta. And I got locked up my senior year in high school. I was a basketball star, and then hit the table. Pinky rings, take the pinky rings off. But I basically, I was in trouble, so I couldn't really leave. He left to go to Morehouse, and that spring he was like, "Yo, you got to come down here and check this out. Like, I promise you never seen nothing like this." So I was like, "If my PO lets me come, cool." Got my paper straight, came down, and I was just, back then there was no social media, so it wasn't like you could see, what was happening on the way, or that it existed prior in certain posts. You couldn't see. You had to literally go participate to experience it. And when I experienced them as black people like me from all over the world, and you're like, wait, I love this. And at this time, you got fucking A Different World on TV. You got The Cosby Show. Like, the whole conscious black excellence was like permeating out of this world. Public Enemy on all your clothes, like you were conscious. And so I was like, all right, I need to figure out my situation and move back. And then that fall, we worked some things out. And I was blessed to come back. I attended Morris Brown College. I only went for a semester because in 6 months I became the #1 party promoter out this motherfucker. My cousin had set me up like I was Scarface. So when I came, everybody, yo, my cousin getting out of jail, he's coming. So when I got here, yeah, that's how. No, honestly. And then so Shakir Stewart got arrested there. One of the first people I met here. He signed Jeezy and Rick Ross and was big at Def Jam. Actually, was about to be president before Jay or something like that. But anyway, so he was one of the first people I met, and we just tore the AUC up. We brought everybody who's anybody in the iconic atmosphere of hip hop now. Jay-Z, I promoted the Reasonable Doubt album, but basically brought them here first when he had 22 twos. This was like pre-Reasonable Doubt. Brought the Big Mac promo tour that Puff did, you know what I'm saying?
People don't know like
children.
The Big Mac promo
that's
tour.
legendary. That's legendary.
So Puff was a marketing guy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that, his whole thing was creative before he was a producer. All that. He was like a really intuitive guy, and he came up with this McDonald's idea with this mixtape or tape rather in a McDonald's box, and it was called Big Mac for Biggie and Craig Mack. Craig Mack, ironically,
rest in peace,
was the superstar.
Yeah,
he was a big
back then. Yeah, Flavor in Your Ear was on fire, and everybody's like, "Who's this dude? Party and bullshit." It's okay.
Flavor in Your Ear was different.
So we were the first to do it. We had the Chronic tour when I was 20 years old. We paid for the Chronic tour to come to the Omni, which is now State Farm Arena here in Atlanta. He got locked up, so he never could do the show, so it got canceled. But we were on that level of like hustle. Like we got here, oh, y'all niggas ain't doing shit. Oh, the Atlanta motherfuckers don't fuck with the school motherfuckers. Oh, we gonna bridge that because we had all the, we used to sell drugs, so all the dope boys knew every, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we connected, and we was the first like school dudes to really be accepted and embraced by the city. Like Shanti Das called me the first time she won the stage at my Friday night was called Funk Clinic to bring Outkast. Like, so it was just like you're in the middle of like this amazing era of hip hop coming, you're not even hip. You know what I'm saying? You're just doing what you do. But it was fun, man.
Was there a name for the promotion that you were doing?
Yeah, 2620 Music was our promotion company. And it was a phenomenon. The first appearance Jay-Z ever had on MTV, he wore a 2620 shirt. When Puff and them would come to the city, 2620 gonna be in the building, Kenny Burns. Like we were like this shit. Like they used to break in dorms at Clark and Spelman and Morehouse, stealing our jerseys. Like we used to make hockey jerseys, basketball. I mean, it was a thing.
Yeah, I was killing it.
And we would go to every black college and do it. So it wasn't like, we create tours. We get tour buses and go and pull up, be standing on top of the tour buses, throwing out whatever promo we were doing. Like we were the real first street team. Big shout out to Steve Rifkin. He incorporated it, but we were the first real street team.
So how does that lead to the music industry?
I was in the parking lot of 112 and the world famous 112.
Yeah, about to say legend.
That's
a fact.
So I was in the parking lot and it was either David Gates or Claude Austin, Dallas Austin's brother, rest in peace. He came up to me, he's like, yo, we got this artist named Monica. And I was like, word? He's like, yeah, I see y'all everywhere, man. Y'all need to help promote this joint. And I was like, I bet. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing
who she is.
I mean, I guess they were saying she had a song called Don't Take It Personal. They had tried to put it out one time. It didn't work. So while I had received the street team business, I was back in the 112 parking lot, and I met the guy who did the Black Expo. Mm-hmm. And back in the day, the Black Expo was the thing to break your artist. So I got her on the Black Expo. She came back gold.
She was 14 at that time?
She was 14 years old.
Wow.
It's so funny you say. I just saw like a picture of me and her. I'll send it to you. You guys need to put it up on the thing. Right? See, there it is. 14 years old. Crazy though, like crazy story. And then after that, I was in the music business, and Claude Austin was, just like a mentor, and Dave Gates they were like mentors. Like, come on in. Like we have a label deal with Rowdy Records through Arista. So I was doing my thing, but Monica was like it for them because they had spent so much money on Y'all So Stupid and a couple other acts they had. Illegal with Jamal and Malik.
I remember that.
So but they weren't winning, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Monica's, so I think she ended up selling like 2 million records. And so they were dismantling the thing, and I thought I had struck gold. I'm like, I need $500,000 a year, nigga. What's up? Like, we just went gold. He's like, that doesn't happen like that. I'm like, all right, well, fuck it then. I had said fuck Dallas in a meeting, and it got back to him, and he fired me. I'm like, I only make $19,000 a year. You can fucking hold this shit. I make way more money doing parties, but that's how I got in the music business. And because of the parties, Clark Kent became my mentor. DJ Clark Kent.
Yeah, legendary.
Sure.
Big shout out to Tony Rome. I call him Tony Rome. He's gonna blow me up for saying that. So Tony used to basically take me on the road with him, and so with that he was going to Motown Records. Andre Harrell, who's like my father, you know what I'm saying, like my big brother, father figure. He was going to Motown and he had like this talent search, and it so happened that the probation shit got weird and the police came here to Atlanta looking for me, so I had to go back and get my shit straight in DC. So I was there. He's like, yo, Dre's coming through. Why don't you do a party for him? You know, he loves that shit. He'll fucking give you a job. I'm telling you. I was like, word? He was like, yeah. So I was like, what this nigga like? Like, I mean, I clearly grew up on New Jack Swing. I'm an Uptown fan.
Uptown, right?
This is after he left Uptown and was going to take the reins over at Motown. So he's like, yo, he's fucking cool, shit, da, da, da. So I was like, I know the music. I'm talking about, what does he like? He like light-skinned women and Dom Perignon. I was like, all right, bet. So he pull up, light-skinned girl, fucking Dom Perignon, and he was like, yo, nigga, what the fuck do you do, nigga? Oh, shit. That's how he talked.
Yeah, that's how he talked. That was good.
Oh, shit, nigga, this shit is crazy. And so at the time, Jawan Howard, Chris Webber, and Rasheed Wallace were all playing for the Bullets.
Yeah.
So everybody was there. It was a whole thing.
Now known as the Wizards.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, yeah, let's show my age. So then he was like, yo, can you come to New York on Monday? I was like, yeah. He said, be there by 10 o'clock. I was there at 8. That motherfucker didn't get into like 12. So I'm sitting there when he comes, he's like, oh, shit, this nigga came. Oh, shit, Kenny Burns. They said, get that nigga $60,000 and put him in street team marketing. I was like, word? I was like, that's what y'all doing? Y'all like just giving, okay, all right. So I went from 60 to 120 to 180 in like 18 months, you know what I'm saying? But I was his guy. But he was, you know.
This is the 90s.
This is the 90s.
That's a lot, man.
That's
a lot too. Now, but even then.
Yeah, young too. And he's so dope. Like, I just want to give Andre Harrell his flowers, you know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, the Revolt Music Conference was his idea, which is now the Revolt Summit. So if you guys have not participated in them, please do. It's very informative. They just had one in Atlanta. I think by the time this episode comes, LA's will have happened. But Andre Harrell is the godfather of lifestyle. He was the first person to put the 360 offering together. Because you know a lot of people, man, they have stylists and they do this, that, and the third, and they got to pay motherfuckers to do certain things. He was just a fly motherfucker. Like, first dude who had a driver with the Rolls Royce. First dude I met with a whole, and you got to imagine Upper West Side of New York back in the 90s was like, that wasn't where, you know, black folks really, but he had a whole side of an apartment building, top floor, Basquiat's, and put me, when I got married, I've been married 20 years, October 16th, 2 kids.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. And he gave my wife and I our first expensive paint. It was like $12,000 back then. It's called Burn in Bed. The shit is, but anyway, he's just a real superhuman being. And you know, this business is full of suckers and it's full of suckers that do sucker shit. And they will take advantage of the weak motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And that's why like I pride myself, like when you said curator earlier, or even pioneer as far as I'm concerned, because there were no lifestyle specialists, and you can go to a million motherfuckers handles now and they have lifestyle specialists under their moniker, or they host clubs. I mean, I'm sure you're old enough. How old are you? Okay, I'm sure y'all niggas old enough to remember when there were no hype niggas on the mic other than the DJ. I'm talking about this niggas getting paid all across the globe for doing that. But I salute Andre, man. I want to give him his props because he taught me how to be 360 with my offering, and that's why I think, you know, I'm winning.
So
like
360 with your offering, because we've heard of 360s obviously with the record deal, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming I know what you mean as far as you do a little bit of everything, and you know you kind of complete the cipher. But what exactly does that mean? That's the first time I've heard that, and that other than 360 record deal.
Well, this is a show me world now. You know what I'm saying? In marketing, and since the mid 2000s when the gray advertisings and Uniworlds that owned all of the business, the boutique started, you know, spiking. You had Team Epiphany would call you, like all these people, you know, coming with these smaller agencies, and what people wanted was the connect. They wanted the one person that was the plug. Like all this other back office shit and all this other extra money they was paying, they wanted to figure that out. So when that's why I created the name, The Lifestyle Specialist, by the way. And then I decided that fuck this business in the way that I know it exists. I'm gonna be the father, husband first. Then I'm gonna be the entrepreneur, and then I'm gonna be all the other, the fashion guy and all that. But that to me is 360. When you see things that are one-sided, you only really get that from a person. You don't get the full picture. And I think I wanted to lead by example. Like, I come from a business that's unforgiving for relationships. I come from a business that take and doesn't give. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of wanted to change the narrative. I started immediately. I mean, I've always been a mentor, even to my friends. You know what I'm saying? I was the first to jump off the porch. I was the first to, you know what I'm saying, get the brick and not the ounce. Like, I was the first, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I think for me, I always led by example. And I just want to give people, like, a 360 rendering, right? Because you can be married and be happy. You can, you know what I'm saying, like, be fly as a motherfucker and not be broke. You can, you can do things that are, 100% real in a 360 way. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like you said, I love the way you asked that question, because the music business 360 is even more pimpery.
Yeah.
Even more, adultery if you're in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? They taking, but they're just taking from you, you know what I'm saying, what's rightfully yours. But in this particular scenario, I like to bring everything full circle. So people look at your pictures and they be like, oh, this light-skinned nigga. Oh, this nigga, all he does is oh, this nigga's got the bald head and beard. He think, oh, this nigga. But when you can't hate on love.
That's
you can't. Fact. You know what I'm saying? If my offering is love, if you hate, you're a hater, and you got to look at yourself in the mirror and deal with that.
So you said one of the things Andre Harrell taught you was to take your creative vision and make it tangible.
100%. This nigga will break it down to the socks. Like, you gotta understand something. Single parent home. My mother raised me with all my aunts. And here I go to the street. Like, I knew what love was, but I didn't know what encouragement was, right? Because, God bless our grandparents and our parents, but they come from a very trying period, you know what I'm saying? And it was really tough for them to, like, get through life, like, let alone succeed, right? But, like, when you meet, you go to the street and you figure out, okay, I'm no killer. I'm not trying to put my hands on nobody unless forced. So the streets wasn't for me. You have to be a certain caliber of person. Now, luckily, I had a lot of game and I could figure things out, and then I was scrapped too. But at the same time, meeting Dre, it's like, nigga, all that shit is cool. But put that energy in this. You got the women, you dress good, like, you know what I'm saying? You walk around, you smell good, like, you can't be, and you don't think about that. Like, if you know what I'm saying?
Turn your cool down.
You don't. If you don't have a father figure in your house pointing you in the right direction. Like, I didn't know my superpowers until I met Andre.
That's powerful.
No, that's powerful. So you started Lifestyle Specialist?
Yeah, I created that. And if anybody says different, I'm gonna fuck you. Nah, but it's facts. I don't know how you prove that. I don't own the mark, but
so all right,
you can ask most people.
It's for because like you said, that term kind of gets thrown around a lot these days. So a lifestyle specialist. I'm actually curious to know your definition. Like, what does that mean?
This guy's smart over here. He needs answers. Lifestyle specialist. Like I said, the marketing boutique agency boomed around 2005. And I would do a lot of consulting, and I would go on these meetings. Like, we would go to Heineken and pitch the Heineken Red Star Soul Tour. And which I created with Alloy Marketing. It was really my idea because it was a CD that had Erykah Badu, Glenn Lewis, like Chico DeBarge, all these people back in the day. I was like, yo, why don't y'all take this and do a tour and you can introduce artists and all that, you know what I'm saying? So by the time, I got to like my third pitch with them, I think we were at like Axe Body Spray or something. I was like, yo, like, I'm tired of y'all referring to me as like this lifestyle guy. Like, I have a skill set, you know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously I'm helping you with these ideas, but you're not telling the client that. So I was like, if you're gonna refer to me as a lifestyle specialist. I'm not really with the other, things y'all are calling me. And that's how I came up with it. I think if you're gonna be a lifestyle specialist, you have to be tenured in multiple things that deal in pop culture. I was the second black designer ever in Saks Fifth Avenue with Ryan Kinney when we did when Jay-Z did Change Clothes, he wore our shirts. I signed, a number of artists and worked on a number of projects from Dream to Akon to Wale. Like, so I've done a lot in different territories or, different things in culture to get that.
You signed Wale through your own record label?
I signed Wale. Is that Studio
43?
Yeah.
Okay.
Funny story about Wale, and big shout out to Wale.
Another DC
he got
legend.
a new project coming out October 11th. But when I found Wale, my sister, who owns Baller Alert, was like, yo, you got to hear this dude. He's a phenomenal rapper. And I'm like, all right, cool. Because I want to sign UCB Sexy Late. I want to sign him to Roc-A-Fella, but Damon didn't want to hear me. But so when I got to Wale, I heard him rap, and he was like a rapper's rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like backpack rapper. He had like 47 bars. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
start rapping.
Yeah, so, and I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? But it was a dude by the name of Southeast Slim who did this go-go fusion shit. And that was what I wanted the whole time. Like, I was asking, like, where's the go-go influence shit?
That's to your region.
Yeah,
right?
that's
DC.
That's DC.
That's DC.
So
for
Southeast Slim, big shout out to Southeast Slim. I don't even know where he is today. But he had this record called Dig Dug. Dig Dug off the muscle. It was a Northeast Groove joint. And when I tell you, he had like 100 bars a verse. But I was like, no, chop this up, dude. And when I tell you he was getting $2,500 a week, 3 weeks later, until he like literally busted a move. But story is, we released Hate Is the New Love mixtape and Paint a Picture mixtapes. And they were so on fire, like he was getting booked and we were getting sought after. And so I knew the game and I wanted to be independent. I didn't really want to go inside. And I went to LA and I'll never forget, this dude was on me on MySpace, this white boy. I'm not even gonna say his name because I smacked the shit out of him.
You know you are.
But it was so crazy because I was like, the social media shit about to blow. I didn't know what and how, but I just felt like MySpace was such a community and it was only gonna get, Facebook was there obviously coming around. And I'm like, okay, boom, we gotta meet this dude. He's hitting me and what he's saying makes a lot of sense in that space. So I go to Mr. Child and my test for the boy was basically like, if he tries to pay for dinner, I'm gonna hire him to be Wale's social media guy. So dinner comes and me and Wale looking at each other because he knows the test. And he doesn't want to pay for dinner at first, right? So I pull out, I'm about to pay. So he ended up paying. I was like, okay, cool, we're going to fuck with this motherfucker. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, maybe 3 weeks later, I can't find Wale. I could not find Wale. And his mama calling me, everybody like, what, yo? I'm like, I don't know, he ain't called me. Now, mind you, Rob Stone at the Fader, obviously one of my good friends, I had told him about Wale, and I was trying to get Wale a cover or an article, something. You know, I'm reaching out to all my contacts. Just so happened that Rob Stone called me like, yo, like your man just did the photo shoot, he killed it. I'm like, word? Wale had did the photo shoot. So come to find out, the boy had went around, you know what I'm saying? And Wale was rolling with him. So the boy took him to Mark Ronson. Mark signed him, but I had paperwork on him. Oh. Right? So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I let it bang until the album was about, attention deficit was about to come. I was like, oh, no. I need $1 million. I didn't get $1 million, but they paid me. And then, we got credit for the first album. But me and Wale straight. I mean, I really can't hold people to their actions when they're not fully in their right minds or even know. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew the gangster shit and all the shit that could have happened to him. But it was more about, you know what, I'm gonna get mine if it ever comes out. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, when it came, we got straight.
So you met obviously the Roc-A-Fella crew during the Reasonable Doubt era, right?
Yep.
And there's a story that you brought the paid in full script to Dame.
Yeah,
how'd that come about?
Yeah, so I was working with Dallas Austin and Kevin Zinger. Kevin Zinger owned Volcano Records, I think, back then, and Dallas was doing Free World. And this dude named Shep from Harlem came to the office and he had the paid in full script. And he was basically brought AZ, the character that Wood Harris played.
The real AZ.
The real AZ.
Okay.
Well, we can't say the real AZ. I'm a
the
little
real AZ.
There's two AZs, but all right.
He's partial to
there's two AZs.
Shout out to
but
Sosa, man. One of the greatest MCs of all time.
He's incredible, but he did get his name from New York. So they came to the office, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, Kevin ain't gonna get this. You know what I'm saying? Dallas really ain't gonna get it. This is some street shit.
Yeah.
Took him down to John Street, met Dame, met Biggs, met Jay, and then they was like, we want to do the story. And so all I asked Damon for was a fucking role in the movie. Next time I see this nigga, the movie's been shot. He's talking about, you want to come to the premiere? No bullshit.
Oh, you can buy 2 tickets type shit?
No, come with me now. I'm on the way to the premiere. I saw a nigga on like 47 fucking... So that's what family does. But no, it was awesome because after that he offered me a great position to help them change the direction for Roc-A-Fella because they wanted to do more than just rap. So I came, obviously when Cam and them had just sold 1 million records, Kanye was up to bat. We were working on a bunch of shit. Black Album was being worked on. So it was just like a good time at Roc-A-Fella, and I think actually one of the best times. Because State Property was on full tilt. You had Dipset, you had, Ye, and then obviously
peak of their powers.
Yeah, it was incredible, man. But that's when also the demise started, man. That's when I left the music business alone because I saw how the office was splitting up. You had Brooklyn and Harlem. You know what I'm saying? The Dipset was trying to whoop everybody. I got a wild story about that.
What's that?
No, because I remember Lenny had got into it with him. Lenny, yes, big shout out to my brother. And then that same week I came and I went into Dame's office and I'm like, yo, y'all seen Dame? And it was Cam, Big Joe, Capo was in there, a couple other, the Dipset motherfuckers. So I had everybody's respect, but whatever Cam was on, Killer was on some shit that what the fuck I look like? I'm like, nigga, you're sitting in this chair. I thought you might know who the fuck you was. Jesus Christ. Nah, nigga, I was like, all right, nigga, well, all that shit, I'm down the hall. My office is the one with the green walls. I had the only office with plants and green shit. So I walked down the hall, I heard, nigga, fuck the New York niggas. All you New York niggas sound like that when you get mad. I don't know if you realize, No, I'm not stereotyping. But no, I'm not. I'm joking. But no, so I just heard some fussing, and then Jim Jones came down and, yo, man, Killer was just bugging out, man, it's all good. We ain't seen Dame that. I was like, this shit is crazy. Like, and I clearly in the back of my mind, because they referred to my whole crew as a dress shirt mafia, because I had we had a Roll and Stay property too that they took out. But yeah, we had a whole thing. Like Dame, he had the infamous spot called the Black Door in Tribeca. He built a whole closet. Niggas told me, we ain't never gonna wear that shit. He built a whole closet. All he had was Ralph Lauren button-ups. Jay-Z made change clothes, but
that change clothes is different, man. I remember that was a cultural change in how we dress going to
what?
parties. That was it.
Bro.
It was like button-ups? All right, cool, we got that.
Did that Dipset thing really break up Roc-A-Fella?
No. I was telling you that story because it was a wild story. What broke up Roc-A-Fella, and I think a lot of people are starting to see publicly, was Dame. I mean, at the end of the day, man, Dame was the one fighting and fussing to get them in the door, and he gets all respect for that because, as we all know and have heard through our history, the Roc-A-Fella history, that Jay didn't have a deal. Nobody wanted to sign him. Mm-hmm. And they put their money with their mouth, where their mouth was. They got a deal, freeze priority. They sold all them records. They got a major deal with Def Jam, and the rest is literally history. But, I think money, brought out those sides of Damon, man, that really, and I like the honor conversation. I like the independent conversation. I like a lot of the things that Damon stood on. I just think after time, it's just like, bro.
Going too far.
You're going too far. These are your brothers. So first and foremost, if they're your brothers, I don't give a fuck if my brother got a mental illness and he killing motherfuckers. Like, I'm literally not, like, giving up. Like, it's some way, somehow we got. And of course, Dame and Jay, Jay was big, Boogie's godfather, So it was just too much personal.
Family time.
And you made a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And so how can you not, revel in that? But I just saw the writing on the walls, and to be honest with you, I quit the music business after Roc-A-Fella because I'm like, I could never in my life have seen that happen. And to be honest, if it wasn't for Biggs, like, a lot of shit would have fell apart a lot earlier than that because people don't know, like, Hoffa ran the label. Like,
everybody say that.
No, I'm saying from the Dipset on, like, the Kanye, like all that shit. Dame was there, but Dame was Rock-A-Wear. He was a New America magazine. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, America magazine.
Armadillo at that time.
It was just a lot of shit he was trying to do, but Biggs held it down. And like I just said, that was the biggest time at Roc-A-Fella ever, and Biggs doesn't get that credit. So big shout to Hoffa. And he was, to be honest with you, I feel like Jay, and his crew, he's still with his crew. He made his friends rich. Obviously they contribute, so forth and so on. But Jay went through his period of acting funny. It's just facts. You get to a certain point, you don't know who and what. So you're blocking yourself off to things. And I don't think I've ever felt that way about Biggs. He was the only consistent one all the way through. Now, Hov, let's get it 1,000%. I respect him. I love him. Mm-hmm. It is an honor to watch him grow, and even more of an honor to have been a part of what they did. But, that nigga Biggs is like, he stayed solid and didn't. I've never known another side of Biggs.
We ran into him a few times.
We ran into him. Yeah, shout out to Biggs.
We trying to get him
He's going to get
on
on the podcast real soon.
Y'all get him on? He want to give, like, and you got to understand too, Biggs didn't talk a lot. Biggs wasn't the guy that's out here like sharing it, but now he's ready. Like, what I'm saying? He got a lot to offer, bro.
That's a fact, man.
So, all right. So now we're going to go into the next segment. We're going to talk about the nightlife because we haven't covered that, and that's an exciting topic. All right. So now we're going to talk about the nightlife scene. But before that, so you said you launched Revolt, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Derek Ferguson. We had him.
D Ferg.
Yeah, good friend of the podcast. Good friend
man,
of the podcast.
good husband,
great man.
good father.
Yeah, for
great
sure.
man. Love him. He held me down my entire time with Puff, and it was tumultuous, to say the least.
What was
but love too. That's big.
What was the process in launching a TV network? Because that's not like an everyday thing. That's a whole different type of vibe. Like,
so Puff is a very intuitive person as far as culture is concerned, and he realizes opportunities. And at the time, he wanted to basically launch a network that was heavy into the mobile side of things too, because a lot of what AT&T, Comcast, and all the other carriers do is like they have, all this phone stuff is, next level. So he wanted to be ahead of the curve, and that was the initial goal for Revolt. And in 2013, he reached out like, look, like I'm doing X, Y, and Z. So at first it was more consultancy. I'm going back and forth, and he was like, no, I need you in LA. So I moved the family out. And we got to rocking, The unfortunate thing is that, well, the unfortunate thing and fortunate thing. The unfortunate thing was that his vision was a little early. You know what I'm saying? To do segments in small pieces of content on the linear platform, like
YouTube type of content.
Yeah. Like, and I mean, I think it worked to a certain point, but then there's certain things, and I won't give the answers now because I'm gonna do it. But it's like, I'm gonna give you models, right? So like Bounce TV, big shout out to my brother Ryan Glover. He just sold for a bag, and their whole model was, licensed programming. They did
Bounce TV.
They did licensed programming. They did programming that just made sense because it wasn't available anywhere else. I mean, you could see bits and pieces on BET and other like forms of television like that, maybe VH1, but they went hard, like bang, 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 every day. Oh my God, So if you ever had a nostalgic moment or needed a nostalgic fix, you could go.
Them up.
And so, I just think that, like I said, and it's not done that I'm, gone forever from Revolt, because I like to finish things I start. Now, if he moves Revolt to Atlanta, and Andre Harrell is CEO and I'm president, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? And I'll bring this new idea that'll change the game. But it was a blessing.
Your relationship with Puff started in that Big Mac campaign, and throughout the years, it's just been, you said tumultuous, but like.
I met Puff when I was 16 in Washington, D.C. There was a club called Opera, and I saw him standing. He had a Pele, one half black, one half white. He looked like the Jodeci video. And I had seen him because, I was in the street. So I had seen him. So he saw me, and we had a bunch of girls.
He's at Howard at the time.
He was at Howard when I was in high school. So we just had a mutual, like, I see this guy. Okay, I know this guy. And, like, back then, you don't approach nobody and talk about nothing. You be like, what's up? Until you say, you know what I'm saying? So something in common comes along, because the circle's so small in the streets, you had to. So one day it happened, and we spoke, and we've been cool. And Freaknik 94, when we did the Big Mac thing, that's when I became a legend. That's when my legend started, because Mark Pitts, we used to call him Gucci Don. So Gucci was getting into a fight. They had this Y-shaped staircase in the Funk Clinic, the warehouse where I used to do my parties. And Ron G was DJing, so I'm in the booth, I'm on the mic talking my shit, and I see Gooch, this type shit. So Puff and Wolf and all them downstairs, I'm like, oh shit, if they see that, it's over, and it's Freaknik. Yeah. So I was, 1,000 people inside, 1,000 people outside. So I run off the mic, I get Gooch, like, you straight, man, fuck this. So, Gooch is, he quiet, but he go hard. So I'm like, yo, just chill. It's Freaknik, I got you. Nigga, get the fuck out, paid the bounce. Like, yo, chill. So I'm thinking we good. But somebody had ran down to tell Puff. So as we come down the Y-shape, we get to the landing, and we like midway before we hit the thing, and yo, Puff's like, yo, what the fuck going on? The New York shit. And I'm like, yo, like, we good. Like, relax. Like, we good. Like, it's over. Gucci, you straight, I'm straight. Nah, fuck that, nigga. We from New York, nigga. Nigga, Harlem, nigga. Not White Plains. Harlem.
Damn.
So, no, I'm just fucking. Mount Vernon. But my point is, I'm telling him, like, it's over.
Yeah.
And so back in those days, it was the Wild Wild West. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could buy a gun at Kmart down here with no license. Like, the shit was crazy. So everybody's strapped. And then all of a sudden, the tsunami starts. And so shit. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get niggas shit. So they rushed the door. And when they rushed the door, I had just bought I'll never forget this truck, and this is gonna make me mad as shit thinking about it. I had just bought a Ford Explorer. I had a new grill and Mickey Thompson's. And my cousin left it parked in front of the door. So in front of the door is the barricade. So when they rush, the shit hits my lights, breaks all my shit, my fucking bumper's hanging down, so I don't see it yet. So I'm coming outside because, all the drama had left it, and so people still park. The one thing about back in the day, you could have all types of chaos, but if you got it out the club, the party would remain. So we got it outside. So party's still going on without I'm outside. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? He's like, oh, my fucking truck. So long story short, I'm like getting pages, because this is like beepers. This is not, you know what I'm saying? So you got to get the beeper.
What year was this? 96?
This is 94.
94.
Okay. I think it was Freaknik 94, yeah.
Okay.
We had Ron G that weekend, Kid Capri, like all them early. So long story short, I'm getting all these pages, 911. So the line assembles, niggas start coming back in the club, everything dies down. I said, listen, man, he can't leave here without paying me my money for my truck. I need my money for my truck. I was, first of all, Puff was my idol at this point. He was what he did in DC, I moved to Atlanta to do. And it broke my fucking face that he would fight in my party. Knowing you come from that cloth, you know how important this is. You see all these people in line, and you gonna do that to me? I gave them like Moet White Star was like $75. I gave them for $35. Like I was just trying to make concessions.
That White Star, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, White Star was Cristal back then.
That White Star.
You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, the story goes, after he left town without paying my money, I went to New York. And I went to Queens. It was the Queens Bridge on the Manhattan side. It was a club that was underneath the joint. And so Clark Kent, big bro, and one of my best friends, big hustler from Detroit, who funded most of the 2620 shit back in the day, he with me. So I'm feeling like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. All them niggas know me. If they, you know what I'm saying, then everybody knows what's up. So I go to the club, I'm like, yo, what's up with my money? So Puff looks at me literally, right? He looks at me like, nigga. I was like, he said, I said, what's up with my money? He said, I got so much money. He put like 10,000 on his pocket. Like, I got so much money. I can have you missing, nigga. You gonna come to my city. Ah! That's all I heard. Ah! So I'm like, okay, all right. Hit the money out of his hand. It looked like the scene from the page. Bullshit. So I'm motherfucking ducking. And to be honest with you, motherfuckers wasn't trying to hit me like that. Because if they wanted to hit me, they could have got me. I mean, when I say I was in New York and I had 3 people with me, and Clark was an innocent bystander and shit because he was Puff's DJ too, so he's more like this. Yeah. I'm like, nigga, everybody's gonna die, right? So, yeah, make it out of that joint. I see him the next day in front of is that the Hilton on 7th Ave? It was the last year of the New Music Seminar. And he had a picket sign in one hand and my nephew in the other hand, Justin. And he's like, yo, Black God. You know, Black God, sun, moon, stars, nigga. We black, nigga. We can't be doing this. You know, we out here killing each other. This shit is crazy, nigga. We can never do no shit like that if we want to get to the real money. The white man. Nigga, he had me Jedi mind trick. I was like, damn, I don't even believe I did all this shit, Puff.
I ain't need that money, Puff. I ain't need it.
That was the first time I was Jedi mind tricked by that nigga. I said, this nigga is good. But after that, we were solid. We had cost each other some money, but the respect is there. And that's all I wanted. You know, light-skinned niggas had to fight for theirs back in the day. I wasn't going out like that.
Those legendary parties, like what type of money are we pulling in for a night like that?
What, in college?
In college.
So in college, you're doing about $9,000 a week.
For how many parties? Just one? One party.
And we was charging $5 and $10.
So to think that's crazy.
No, because we were the first to do like bar guarantees and shit. We was putting tables together. There was no sections back in the day. We were putting high tops together and putting the buckets of champagne and kind of like
standing room.
Yeah, because it was only a dance floor. Literally, it was, and then you had high tops in certain clubs. 112. No, actually, Atlanta Live, I think, was the first banquet styled. You know what? 112 had some sections too. But they were like small. It wasn't like what Alex did, you know what I'm saying, and what we did at the world famous Compound.
So it's crazy because, all right, talking about Compound and where we at now, because I'm in my mid-30s, but I was clubbing like when I was 16, because my brother used to promote parties, right? So, and I always looked kind of older than what I was. So I used to go to clubs in like a very young age. So long story short, I saw the evolution of parties where it was like actually a real party where people dance to it becoming like, even when we used to go to Miami, like, and then it was like, we see like one bottle service table, then it was 2, then it was 3. Then before the whole club was bottle service.
The whole club roped
the perimeter was just the bar, right? But the crazy thing to me, looking at it from a business standpoint, is like the bottle service, the markup is so crazy. Like you getting a $30 bottle of Ciroc and you're selling it for $500, $400 plus tip, plus the whole bottle service, gratuity and all of that. And it to me, it really changed the whole vibe of the nightlife scene. So you being a host and, you know, a nightlife specialist and all of that, how did it change it? And like, what's the profit margins in clubs? Is it as profitable as it's, because on the outside looking in, it looks like a very profitable business. Is it as profitable as it seems? It's
profitable when you own the club. You know what I'm saying? If you own the dirt, you getting your bread. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing parties and it's like I've never seen no shit like what they're doing today. It'd be 25 promoters. You know what I'm saying?
For the same party.
How are you getting money? I don't know. I need to know. I need answers. But like in the beginning, it was about the experience. You know what I'm saying? And anything I've ever done personally, but you're asking me how it's gone from that to this. So in the beginning, it was about the vibe. You know what I'm saying? And I think you started to cater to more of the needs, and that's why service came up, because you know what I'm saying. Real get money motherfuckers wouldn't come out and dance like that. Yeah. They wanted to be kind of posted up on the side. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you had to, cater to that. But then the flip did too. Like the world famous compound here in Atlanta, 10, 12, 13 years ago when we started that motherfucker. Well, actually, I'm sorry, 15 years ago. We just had the 15th anniversary this year. But when we started that, the tables became just centerpieces of the celebration. It was not like you in the joint chilling. Yeah. Oh no, stand on some fucking furniture. We about to couch surfing this motherfucker before swag surf. But my point is it's all in who does what, right? So if Kenny Burns does a party, if I do cassette, you come in to dance. Like women are bringing scrunchies in their purse. They putting that hair up and they gonna get to it because they know that this is the one time a month I can have the best time of my life. You know what I'm saying? And I think it has a lot to do with the promoters. Like Alex, he could care less. As long as he sells those tables and you're asking margins, we had Jermaine,
Alex is from AG, right?
AG Entertainment. Big shout out to Alex. He was my partner at the Funk Clinic too, but he's the only actually land club owner here that is a friend of mine. I mean, there are others, I'm sure, but I mean, a lot of people got leases and things, but he actually owns the dirt at Compound. But for me, man, I'll never forget, we did $700,000 at the bar in one night.
700,000?
700,000. What weekend is it? Like a fight weekend?
Jermaine Dupri had, I think it was So Def 20, and he had Jay come. And so we booked Jay at the Compound. It's a legendary picture. Put it on the screen. There you go.
I think I know this one.
Yeah, so it's me, Jeezy, Pekkas.
Beyonce's there too.
No, that was at Rain.
Okay.
But this one, we did 700 at the bar. So it's very lucrative. And if you think about let's look at expenses.
Okay.
If you're leasing a club in a major metropolitan city outside of New York and LA or Miami, because that's strange fruit, but meaning it's just ridiculous, right? But if you do DC, Atlanta, Chicago, whatever, right? You're gonna probably pay upwards to $15,000 a month, $20,000. Just say it's $30,000 a month. $30,000 a month you really could do in one day. Like the Compound is only open on Saturdays and they rent it out every other time. So you gotta imagine they make their nut, you know what I'm saying, in a half a party, you know what I'm saying, and the rest of the month, you know what I'm saying, is expenses and profit, right? So I mean, it's very lucrative if you really got the game down packed. But I don't suggest anyone getting that game thinking you're just gonna get paid. It takes years to earn those relationships.
How stressful is it booking artists that might come, might not come, might come drunk?
You paid. I never depend on artists. That's why I became a host. I never wanted to ride or die on the talent. That's why in the marketing field, I never did deals with idiots. You know what I'm saying? I never did deals with people that I didn't think were, you know what I'm saying, equipped to get, to give me what I need or give the client, because I was basically the plug or the connector. But yeah, and I never wanted, that's why even with cassette, it's about the party. We bring artists every month.
I feel like people come because they know it's you.
Yeah.
They're not like somebody else being there is like a plus, but it's like they know what your party means.
And big shout out to all these hosts out there, but I'm different. I'm really an artist. I'm the fifth member of the fucking Jagged Edge. I'm fucking, you know what I'm saying? If you watch me, I'm laying on the fucking floor, nigga. I'm rolling around. I'm dancing with the bigger. I'm doing whatever. I'm doing whatever because I really believe that if you're not having a good time, you will not be a repeat customer.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And that's in the entertainment business in general. But I've mentored thousands directly or indirectly. I've partied with hundreds of thousands, and I guarantee you, if it's something that I have control over, they leave having the best time they've ever had.
Did bottle service ruin the nightclub scene, in your opinion?
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
You don't think so?
No, because it's a show me. I just said at the beginning, this is a show me culture. And what better way? I mean, we started 100 bottles. Like Polo the Don. Gee, they used to come buy 100 bottles.
With sparkles flying?
How crazy, all right, it just made me think about something. You've been in Atlanta for a long time. You was throwing parties in Atlanta for a long time.
Do you think it fucked up the nightlife?
I think it changed it drastically. Better and worse.
Yeah, because how do you make money if you don't elevate the game?
From that standpoint, but from an actual party, it's not a party. Nobody's partying. Nobody dances.
No, you young motherfuckers, not you. You young motherfuckers ain't partying. And now they trying to get back to partying because the old niggas is saying what the party was like. My whole thing is niggas is really dyslexic when it comes to the truth. It's like they view it and read it in their own way. They take their, you know what I'm saying, their skew on it is different. Like, if you go to a party where it's a bunch of niggas smoking weed and taking lean and pills, and then you got the girls doing it too, you're not gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Because everybody is high as a motherfucker. But if you go to a party where you're a little high, but you balanced out by the liquor, and you got a bunch of women, because listen, ladies, if they have killer tattooed on their forehead, if their teeth are super fucked up from all the fucking drugs they take, if their lips are black from fucking smoking so many Black and Milds, not even weed, you must reevaluate.
This is a public service announcement.
But yeah, like, so I had this, so the white party thing, like this past, literally, this is the facts, the 100% truth. I had a white party this Labor Day weekend at the world famous compound, and we do this annual white party. We've been doing this shit.
I've heard about it.
So literally, to the left of me is the Habesha fucking mafia, right? The Ethiopian Eritrean.
I'm about to say,
I'm like, yo, which mafia is that?
I don't know what that means.
Like the mafia.
Okay,
right?
Ethiopian
it's
mafia.
real.
Okay.
It's real. Big shout out to my Eritreans, my Ethiopians. But like literally, and they smoking, all the jewelry on and shit, and they not moving. They want to hear trap. Mm-hmm. That's all they want to hear. To the right of me is Ludacris, my wife, Edoxy, like, you know what I'm saying, all our crew. And they in that motherfucker like, oh! I'm talking about they in that motherfucker having the time of their life. And it, for me, was the moment I had to decide, I am never doing any trap shit again. Because this is not who I am. This is not who I am. And I loved Lil Baby. It's probably my favorite new art. Like, I love his albums, right? But I just, you know what I'm saying? I want to be dancing next to something soft, you know what I'm talking about? And that smells good, you know what I'm saying? With the hair up. And I don't want to be nervous, you know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this, because like you was in Atlanta for
These young niggas is retarded.
You was in Atlanta for a long time, and you did parties for a long time. How big, we wasn't in Atlanta. We just came to Atlanta recently. How big was BMF?
Oh, BMF was, I mean, if you look at the drug dealer tales from city to city.
But like in the clubs, like, because we heard the stories in the clubs, like $1 million in a strip club and all that.
Yeah, so no, I'm going to tell you what I witnessed. I came back the year before he got shot in the ass. And then the year he got locked up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no,
Big Meech?
Meech got shot in the
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so so he got shot. Yeah. So long story short, I'm literally like I moved back. Visions is open, right? So Alex is obviously one of my best friends, and he was, he started booming when I left in the party. I'm talking about when he was thinking about ownership, got his club, so forth and so on. So he wanted me to host over at the Vision spot, right? So I had been hearing this Meech story and this BMF story, but I was around the world, coming up in the music business. So I come home, I'm hosting. So DJ Infamous is on the 1 and 2s, and we rocking. You know what I'm saying? So I saw Jeezy coming. I was like, Snow, doing my shout outs. And then all of a sudden, here comes Meech. And it looked like he's with the FOI, nigga. When I say it was militant, the way they walked in the club, my nigga, so Meech walks in. So I'm like, damn, this is finally my opportunity to shout them out, get them on my radar, you know what I'm saying? Woo-wop. So I'm hip to everybody. I'm knowing who everybody is. So I was like, big shout out to Meech. My light-skinned brother from another mother just popped in the building. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to celebrate. He literally, like, his back was turned to the DJ booth. He literally turned around and everybody stopped. As he began to turn around, it was like it was Farrakhan, I promise you. Everybody stopped. He turned around and then he looked up at the booth and he was like, with his bottle of PJ, and then everybody in the booth was like, I was like, yo, this nigga's like Farrakhan in this motherfucker, right? And then the next day, I'm driving down Peachtree from Lenox. This nigga walking down the street, nigga, with a perm. This nigga had a perm down to here, nigga, with 2 German shepherds leading him, nigga, with a whole fucking, like, I'm like, who is this superhero? Like, this nigga. And then I promise you, I was at Greenbrier Mall, and I didn't see him there, but a guy was standing next to the cash register, and he had a bag of money on the thing. You know what I'm saying? And apparently, Meech, told him to go up there, and every purchase for back to school, you know what I'm saying, you pay for this shit until the money runs out. So everybody was like, they was getting free. So I witnessed a few things, but the stories I hear are unbelievable.
Yeah. That militant where everybody's looking, sounds like somebody that we just ran into, right?
Yeah, man. We were in Houston, and we've been trying, like, Biggs is one of those people we've been trying to get on. We ran into him a few times. We couldn't connect. We went to Houston with the intent of meeting Jay Prince and trying to get him on a
Last
podcast.
of a dying breed.
Indeed.
Shout out to Jay Prince. We'll tell that story one day.
Yeah, and his son.
Shout out.
And we met him too.
Yeah, we met him too.
Yeah.
All of them. 5 of them.
Junior's, I mean, listen, it is what it is, right? So it's like, knowing that you got to act accordingly, or
yeah.
Not, you know what I'm saying? But I like the pressure. You know what I'm saying?
I think they do too.
Because somebody said, no, but it ain't even unwarranted though. Like, I mean, Jay Prince is still around because he's made the right move. Mm-hmm. Not just moves, he made the right move.
Yep.
And when you are part of that street culture, like he comes from the school of rules. It's just things you do and don't do. And so I applaud him for being able to walk that walk and continue that. I had just saw somebody say, I think it was my guy Ruggs. It's like, you guys really think y'all gangsters, but y'all never been tested. Y'all never had that thing on y'all about to lose your life, you know what I'm saying? Or have to take, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, people be out here, y'all be like, yeah, y'all so gangster. It's just like Tekashi. I hate to even bring him up, but it is scary.
Did he tell on you?
No, probably. All my shit statute limitations is up. That's what I'm talking about. But my point is, it's a thing like when you really sign up for this shit. And like I remember Tekashi like out here like blood. And like it's like Daniel, chill. Like you just had the all blue bed sheet. Like when you just a crib. Like
damn,
but my thing is damn Daniel. But that'd be my thing though. Like because again, this whole thing, all this shit is about, you know what I'm saying, the look and what I'm doing. I've never heard of so many gangbangers in my 46 years of life. I've never heard of this man. And to be honest with you, when Jimmy and them was blooding back in the day when they was all up at Roc-A-Fella, it blew me like, they really got bloods out here?
Yeah, that felt new to New York.
That was so new to New York to me. And I've been around. Like, I'm like, oh shit, but if that's what y'all doing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But my thing is like, this shit be such fads, right? Yeah. It's like, it's so popular to be this, so popular until you go to jail. Do you know, and this is what I want to tell to all my hustlers, I don't even know how you get money no more. But do you know this device? You have to watch The Great Hack. Watch The Great Hack. They try to start off The Great Hack by telling you they do not listen to your conversations, but that's bullshit because there's no way you can get ads in your feeds if they don't know what you're talking about. That's one.
Fact.
That's a fact.
But if you think about the propaganda, right? In The Great Hack, they were telling us basically, the motherfucking Cambridge Analytica is the ones who created all the Black Lives fucking memes and all that shit and sent them to all the motherfucking weird white motherfuckers and all the closet racists that were still in the closet, you know what I'm saying, and had it come out. And that's why Trump won. Like, you got to watch The Great Hack. Mm-hmm. This shit is unbelievable.
It's on Netflix, right?
It's on Netflix. You got to watch that shit. But that's my point with these Instagram gangsters or these internet gangsters or these tough people. You can say anything online. You can say anything you want online. There's no repercussion until you run into that motherfucker, and then you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? So, but I wish everybody the best.
That's another public service.
All right, in the last segment, we're gonna talk about what you got going on too with your liquor company and the spirits industry.
Yes.
So we're gonna get into that. All right. So in the last segment, we're gonna talk about $1 billion industry, maybe even more than that. The spirits industry, and you are a co-owner. Well, before I even go there, so you are a brand ambassador for Greygoose, Ciroc, Deleon. Any other that I missed?
Well, let's just start here. I created all the influencer programs that all spirit companies use. I was, like I said, I created the Heineken Red Star Soul Tour so I can host it. So Heineken was a big part in the beginning of that for me. But my 35th birthday is when I became a legend in it, because I did my 35th birthday party at the Versace mansion. And I paid for chicken tenders. I had like $175,000.
In Miami?
Yeah.
Chicken tenders.
Yeah. I literally I did a favor. I was ear hustling in DC, big shout to Mark Barnes at his club Love. And the reps for Moet Hennessy were there, and they were like, I got a problem. Like, listening, I got a problem. This fucking guy, Alex, and his brothers, they're like the fucking mob down there. They won't let us in these clubs. They're fucking telling us we got to pay X, Y, and Z. I said, excuse me, I don't mean to be eavesdropping, but I can help you with your problem. And so they were like, yeah, you sure? Because I don't know. I said, no, these are my best friends. Like, if there's a problem that's fixable, I can fix it. So they were like, all right, cool. So 2 weeks later, I had them back in the club, and they're like, yo, what can we do for you? I was like, well, I'm turning 35, and I want to do my birthday party at the Versace Mansion. So they were like, yeah, that might get a little pricey. Maybe we can do a couple brands, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, cool, let me know. I said, you know what? 2 weeks later, they called me, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Party's yours. Get the event planner, let us know who we cutting the checks to, blah, blah, blah. So obviously then social media wasn't, you know what I mean, to have all of whatever. So we ended up getting like 1 billion impressions because Star Jones and Al Reynolds were in a relationship, and she was on The View. I don't even know if y'all remember this.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but it was the biggest thing in the tabloid thing. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, all the Fat Joes, like all the rappers that. So anyway, so we had this amazing party, but from that, the global head of marketing came because they got my invitation was a bobblehead of me, and they usually don't do cross branding promotion on the box. I had like because they had to get money from each Tin Cane Rum, Dom Perignon, Moet, you know what I'm saying, Hennessy and Belvedere. So long story short, he came up because he was like, why are we doing this for this non-celebrity? Like, we're spending a lot of money. Like, why are we doing it? So when they came over, they were like, yo, like, this is unreal. Like, this dude brought all these people. Now, mind you, 70 to probably 80% of the people flew in for the party. And so they were just amazed by it. So after that, they were like, yo, can we do some other things? Let's try this. So I would do little things, this, that, and the third. But then when it got into Grey Goose, Puff was on fire with the flavors. And so Grey Goose had Le Poil, Le Citron, L'Orange, like all these flavors, but they weren't popping. And they were like, can you help us with these flavors? I said, well, let me pick the flavor. You get that to me for 6 months. I'll pop it off in Atlanta. We'll see how it goes. Six months, we were up 498% because I had the club, like I had, the warehouse. I'm sorry, the compound, Gold Room, like Privé, all the clubs I had. So
you putting the bottles in there,
right? I was just like, I gotta have a spin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So long story short, that caught on like wildfire. They ended up giving me $1 million on my credit card that year. I did Drake tour. I did a whole bunch of different stuff, but they were like, yo, like we want to do a fucking program with you, right? And help us set up with other people in other markets. So I started putting them with people. And then Puff came, and this is when Puff and I did y'all hear about that shit? When me and Puff got into it at the thing, it was on MTV.
A fight?
No, it almost turned into a fight. But it wasn't a fight. What had happened was, so he had Justin's restaurant down here back then.
Yeah, it's a fact.
And so, I was popping, like Grey Goose was on fire, and I was like, let me fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? So I put a billboard right on the side of motherfucking Justin's with a bottle of Grey Goose in my hand. It was literally like this.
And he had Ciroc at that time?
Oh, he was on fire with Ciroc. It was the height. It was Coco Loso and all that. So I'm on a billboard, right? That's like literally across the street.
That's OD.
So he was coming to the compound, right? And we had him at the compound. I'll never forget because Tip just got out of jail for the gun shit. And I put my booth in front of his booth for the crowd to see. So every time they ordered 1, 2 Ciroc, I ordered 3 or 4, like Grey Goose. So after a minute, he was getting irritated. But me, I'm thinking, you Puff Daddy.
I noticed. Okay.
Yeah, like you Puff Daddy. If you wanted to, you could say, Al, he has to stop buying. Because Alex owned the club. I didn't own the club. I mean, I had the influence of the club, but I didn't own the club.
Alex, your man.
Yeah, my man. Yeah. But if he said, I'm leaving, if he doesn't stop or something, it would have been fair because I really was fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? But he lost his cool. He threw a piece of ice, hit my little stick man in the face, right? But behind him was, one of my guys, right? So he didn't realize it, but I saw it. And mind you, so say she's the guy who got hit in the head with the ice. It's me, you're Puff. So they're really like 12 feet apart, but y'all equal. Me and T.I. equal. So Puff gets the mic after he hits the dude. He's like, yo, you fucking light-skinned niggas. Now, mind you, the nigga he talking to is not light-skinned. That means the whole time in his head, he's talking to me, right? So I'm like, this nigga's wild. And so Tip gets the mic. And Tip's like, yo, it's they shit. This is house, nigga. He can drink what he want. And then Puff's like, don't do that. Don't do that. So at the time, I'm like, yo, Puff is not like, he didn't look, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me get over there. So Tip is here to me, y'all. So I'm making my way, nigga. When I tell you 6,000 people in the world famous compound, I'm making my way over. So I get over, and I'm like, you straight? Because the dude who got hit is actually terrified. The dude in the back of him broke bottles, ready to rush, like the whole shit. And I'm like, yo, chill out, nigga. Like, ain't none of that's happening. So I'm like, boom. So, but then Puff's like, yeah, fuck you too, nigga. And I'm like, and mind you, now he's seen me working I'm coming to you. I'm coming to, you know what I'm saying? So I jump up on the thing, and big shout out to Rube, BK Rube, jumps over because he's like, yo, what's this nigga doing? And then James Cruz and whoever else like, no, that's Kenny, nigga, let them figure that shit out, nigga. If they start fighting, let them, you know what I'm saying? So I move so I grabbed the nigga, I was like, yo, do you know you make $500,000, nigga? And this nigga you hitting the eye makes $36,000. Like, you're tripping, like, calm down, nigga. No one's coming. Look around us. Yeah. No one's coming. I live here. No one's coming. Like, chill out. So I ended up squashing, whatever. But my point is, like, not only did I save lives that night. I
add that to the resume.
No, I'm just saying, like, cause it was too many people. It'd have been a melee.
I remember that.
Not even me and him. I'm talking about the regular motherfuckers getting trampled and running.
You know, I didn't know that was you because I remember exactly. I have a photographic memory for anybody that doesn't know. So I remember watching that clip on World Star or something like that, and he was like, "Yeah, y'all motherfuckers ordering Greygoose." And T.I. was like, I just got out of jail. Nobody.
I'm not going to jail.
I'm not going back to jail for nobody.
This their house. They live here, like, relax. And to be honest, that I thought it was over with Greygoose after that. But it got so much press. And you know, Puff back then was sending toilets to, like, Belvedere. Like, Puff was off the chain. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, yo, like, this guy is, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, Puff offered me a job 2 weeks later to come work for Ciroc. He's a genius. So he was like, yo, come work for Ciroc. And I kept saying no for like another year until the revolt happened. And then we was rocking.
Nah, shout out to Puff, man.
Storied. You know, and I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this right now. Like, you know, Puff is a superhero, you know, but he also has done things along the way that taints that, right? But you will never find someone who has contributed more to this generation. You know what I'm saying, to him? It wouldn't be a lot of jobs. It wouldn't be a lot of opportunities if it wasn't for that man. So as much as we fight, we brothers, and, you know, it is what it is.
Shout out to Puff. So, all right. So
Black Caesar.
The uncle
Black man, that's what he goes.
we call him Black Caesar, that's a fact. Especially when you had Cassie. Unfortunate situation, but
ooh, why'd you say
I don't know why you say that.
Dear Lord, baby, Jesus, forgive this man.
Congratulations to her and her new family.
That's a soft open wound, Jesus.
Shout out to Puff. We need you on the podcast, Puff.
Shit.
So
I didn't even say that. God damn.
That will later be edited. Don't worry.
Look, the way to Puff's heart now. To talk about his women, boy.
Troy said it. Anybody that's listening to the audio, Troy said it. Uncle Nearest 1856, right?
Yes,
so you're part owner in a company. It's an interesting story. So he was the original black. Was he a slave?
Yeah, Uncle Nearest was a slave, first generation slave, brought to America, and was the master distiller for Jack Daniels, basically, right? And the story goes, just to catch you up, in 1856, there was an orphan by the name of Jack Daniels who came to the Dan Call farm where Uncle Nearest made whiskey for a preacher, Dan Call. But Dan Call's congregation was like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying, you can't be selling the devil's juice and preaching, you know what I'm saying? So basically, you know, Jack Daniels was an orphan living there, and he was so interested in what was going on with the whiskey, he was like, you know, basically let me get a shot at it. And long story short, you know, he was a very tiny man, so he looked like a kid, and he can get away and get through things. And back then, you know, they had like shoot to kill, like Civil War, like orders for people trying to sell whiskey to the troops and things like that. But he was quite the salesman, and Uncle Nearest was his, you know, was his teacher. And fast forward in the 70s, I think it kind of got lost in the sauce. about who Nearest and his family was. There's an infamous picture out there that's actually George, Uncle Nearest's son, and not him. A lot of people say it's Uncle Nearest, but it's his son George. But his family, has been with the Jack Daniels brand since then, in some capacity, fashion, or form. But the founder of Uncle Nearest, Fawn Weaver, she's a best-selling author. Her husband Keith, they were away on vacation and read the story in the International New York Times. And, she's an author, so she wanted to, she just thought the story was intriguing. So she went to, basically figure it out, see what was going on. And then, when she started uncovering things, she saw how important Uncle Nearest was to Jack. Jack had mentioned Uncle Nearest or his boys over 50 times in his autobiography, which we now own, by the way. The Dan Call farm, which is 330 acres, where they grew up, she found out it was available to buy. She bought it. So we own that. And she did a couple key, acquisitions around the Jack Daniels property or town, if you will, right? Because Lynchburg, Tennessee is Jack Daniels' land, right? So, so she basically was like, you know what? I'm going to start a whiskey in honor of him. And she started reaching out to all the family members. Our Nearest Green Foundation puts all of the descendants through college. If you we have 9 in college right now, full ride, not just for bachelor's, but however long you want to go to school, fully paid. All you got to do is maintain a 3.0 and pay it forward when you get the opportunity. But that was some of the things that were amazing to me. Obviously, I had been in the Spirits, I've done some amazing things, and a person I knew that was doing the Series A raise, the bulk of the Series A, was like, yo, you got to meet her. And he was telling her, you got to meet him. He's like a savant, like the guy that went against Puff kind of thing, like, you know what I'm saying, to work with Puff. And so we met, and, literally the rest is history. I mean, they were underway, but that was the beginning. When I joined, we did the Breakfast Club, and we did all these, and we broke our website several times just on that promo run alone. And, for me, I wanted to go do all the deals in the clubs that I've been doing all these years, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't able to do that because she wanted to go door to door with it. Her whole approach was, let's get on menus, let's get on cocktail menus, let's deal with the bespoke mixologists and all that. And so it was just a very great learning curve for me because I come from we need 2,000 cases, we're gonna give you $60,000 in marketing support.
And I want to
bring the sparkles.
Yeah, but because that's what I had done to that point. But she also was like, well, no, everybody. You know what I'm saying? All I need you to do is be you. If you can introduce it to your people at Puro Trader, my guy Pierre Rogers that owns Puro Trader. Puro Trader is like the eBay of cigars for pre-embargo 1950 Cubans, just dope shit. If you're an aficionado, you should go there and get busy. But I was and it was just showing up, and now you're seeing people with millions of Ludacris is posting, all of my friends, and it was just very natural and organic. And the rest will be history. I am a shareholder, and my great-great-grandchildren will be all right from this deal.
No, that's
dope.
Amazing.
That's dope, man.
And I never got equity from anybody else. I've done a lot of great things and wanted to start my own thing with certain companies once upon a time. Obviously, working with Ciroc and launching Deleon. Apple Ciroc was my launch. So it's a thing when you're like, damn, a complete stranger.
For sure.
I didn't know her from nothing. She didn't know me from nothing. We were put together, and the rest is literally history.
I want to thank you, man. Appreciate you dropping gems on us, and
it's all good.
Funny stories too. Some good entertaining stories for sure.
This is gonna be a classic.
So what do you have going on as far as the people that you want to make people aware of anything with the brand or your parties, anything like that?
No, just follow Kenny Burns.
All social media.
All social media at Kenny Burns, and you'll see.
All right, cool.
Can we put the curator culture now in the bio?
Man, you can call me whatever you want. Just call me Big Bro when you call me.
Man, shout out to everybody on patreon.com. That is our Proud to Pay program. That's Earn Your Leisure, patreon.com/Earn Your Leisure. We have 5 different tiers. Shout out to everybody that's been joining. Every time we do an episode, it feels like we get 2 or 3 more people that are coming on. There's bonus content there. There's obviously some extended footage from the episode, some outtakes that people seem to be enjoying. So we're going to keep putting that out. We're going to continue putting our merch out. That's on earnyourleisure.com. We have all of our, traditional shirts, the assets over liabilities, hustle for your last name. Our tour shirts are up there now, so feel free to keep supporting that so we can keep doing things like this. Come to Atlanta and meet some real hometown heroes that are doing some incredible things.
And our workshop in New York and live streamed all over the world is on the 17th of October. And also, so you guys know I'm a financial advisor, so you DM me all the time. So as I said, the best way to reach me, I have my...
You're a lifestyle specialist, nigga.
I am. I have my calendar on the
Certified,
website, earnyourleisure.com for sure. And the book tip of this week is The Dream is Real.
Hey.
You know who wrote that book?
Kenny Burns, Cecil Cross.
The legend himself.
Check it out. Check it out on iTunes, right? iTunes.
It's on iTunes, Amazon, yeah. Kindle.
Kindle, for
Yeah,
sure.
we'll support
for sure.
that.
Yeah, for sure. Support that, for sure. And thank you guys for rocking with us. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Oh, and wait, one more thing.
Don't leave yet.
Stay sucker free and never let your expectations exceed your effort. If you follow those simple rules, you're going to get what you came for.
You heard him.
Facts. Peace.